Hi.
Hi, Dory.
That was faster than usual, don't you think?
Practice makes you better, right?
There you go, right?
There you go. How are you?
I'm doing okay. How are you?
Good, I'm doing good. So I just let people know like 10 minutes ago, as this is kind of, last minute change that we're going to talk about blood sugar regulation and what can we do about it and what it is and how it impacts our body. So my guest is Dory Martin, and we met at a workshop, yes. So it's always a pleasure to talk with you, and I think I can talk to you forever.
Likewise, I know. That's lies, right?
Yeah. Okay, so what is blood sugar? I mean, how does it impact our body? Can you tell
Yeah,
us a little bit about it?
yeah, absolutely. Let's collaborate on this one. So,
Okay.
I know that we work with a lot of people in perimenopause and in midlife in general, and people are paying attention to the sex hormones.
Mhm.
And one of the things that I think, we can't control a lot of that, but we actually can control our blood sugar, and our blood sugar impacts our hormones. It's like a hierarchy of all the things.
Exactly.
And so blood sugar is important, right? There's even a book like Why We Get Sick or How We Get Sick by Ben Bickman. But he talks about all the metabolic processes that is impacted because of blood sugar. And
Uh-huh.
so it's the biggest levers that I've seen in terms of like in the context of just people and disease in general. You really can't have a lot of diseases without blood sugar imbalance, including cancer.
Mhm.
And then with regards to midlife women, our ability to handle our blood sugar goes down when our sex hormones goes down. So it's like if you're able to manage it, it's one of the things that you can control.
Right.
And it also basically impacts everything.
Exactly.
So how about you?
Yeah.
I know you have.
Yeah, I'm same with you. Like, I didn't know how powerful managing blood sugar regulation can really change your wellness and health, really. Because I have a psoriasis, as you know. I've been kind of dealing with my autoimmune issues and trying to find the missing puzzle. I've done a lot of gut protocol, and I've done everything that you could think of, basically. But at the end of the journey, I came down into like, how about my blood sugar regulation? You know, I didn't think about it because when people have, especially autoimmune issues, they focus on their gut health because that's what we told. Like, you have autoimmune issues, well, you have a leaky gut, you probably work on your gut health. Well, that's what I was told too. So I didn't really think about blood sugar regulation up until very at the end of my journey. And guess what? After I use the glucose and continuous glucose monitor that you put it on your arm, wow, my blood sugar was like up and down. I thought I was eating pretty healthy, but I guess my body didn't like the way how I ate in terms of like the order of how I ate. Because I used to eat carb first, like like sweet potatoes or squash first, and then eat protein later on because that's what I like, and my taste buds like craving those carb. But I guess just a little tweak, changing the order of how you eat, made a significant improvement on my blood sugar regulation, and I was very surprised. It was just eye-opening. And then after all, I noticed that it impacts my mental clarity, my mood stability too. It is just amazing. Like, once you connect the dot of your regulating your blood sugar levels, it will really help you to have, vibrant life, I think. Yeah.
Absolutely. I feel like it's like the big one of the biggest needle movers that you actually can control. There are so many things we can't control in our state of health, like our hormones. It's not like you could take bioidenticals and all this other stuff, but like from like a personal standpoint and lifestyle standpoint, it's one of the maybe the simplest. I wouldn't say easy, right? Heijang, you wouldn't think it was easy, but it's simplest to be able to shift that. And I've my history where I've been working with people who have cancer, and the ketogenic diet is kind of one of the ultimate,
Mm,
ways to manage your blood sugar because you're not spiking, you're actually flatlining it.
right.
And the people that I go through that program, they go through it for a lot of different reasons. But just as you said, their mood changes, they're not constantly hungry, and their inflammation goes down,
Hmm.
and they're able to,
Yes.
right? When your blood sugar is dysregulated, you're not even able to absorb the nutrients. So it doesn't matter what's going on with your gut health. It is going to damage your gut health because you can't even absorb the nutrients. And you've got all that sugar, and the inflammation is getting completely like jacked up. And so it's a domino effect. And so it's like spinning plates, having to do all the things. But I do feel like one of the biggest levers, sometimes it's the only thing that I see people do, and their mood gets better because
Yeah.
now it's
Mhm.
like that. Yeah, your brain and your body is running on sugar, and so it burns really quickly, and suddenly it's out of fuel, and so your body thinks it's going to die. It's going to say sugar, sugar, something really fast fuel. Whereas
Yeah.
when you start to more of a like regulated state, you're able to do a little bit of both. It's not like an emergency, and you can take on the more slow burning fuel and not feel like you can sustain that more easily. So it's more cellular energy too.
Right.
So yeah,
Yeah.
right. That go ahead. What were you going to say?
I was gonna add just, that's a great point because, you mentioned about gut health. If your blood sugar is not regulated, it doesn't matter because your body cannot utilize the nutrients that you are putting all that, good stuff in your body. So that was a really good point I wanted to point out. And I think regulating blood sugar levels has a lot to do with your metabolic health.
Mhm.
So basically, when your metabolism is out, it can increase the inflammation. Like your oxidative stress goes up, and then your body just trying hard to make harmony in your body, but your stress levels goes up because your blood sugar is not regulated. It's just a whole vicious cycle, constantly going, whether you notice or not. So yeah, I just wanted to add that point.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love what you said. We see this is another conversation. It's like, but continuous glucose monitor. Can I just tell you, it's so. I love these data points because it's different for everybody. What's going to spike their blood sugar and not, and it's not unless you actually see something like that that you would really understand that maybe some people can't drink coffee in the morning. It's just going
Mm.
to jack sugar and just make things really difficult. For other people, it's fine. And then it's like for me, what I learned is, like you said, the sequence or, eating your protein, fat, and fiber first instead of just jumping the carbs. It's sort of like you're diluting it. But for me, one of the biggest things I learned from a continuous glucose monitor, maybe now it's getting into like what we like to do, is not to eat after the sun goes down. Because when I do, for me, I can't control my blood sugar. It doesn't matter if I eat something relatively, high in carbs. Doesn't matter if I eat my protein and fat and eat the carbs. I have a hard time regulating my blood sugar. It just wants to go up. And so I close the doors. I mean, that's what they say about circadian rhythm anyways. You go by the sunset and the sunrise or the other way around. And at nighttime you stop. And so I could coach a person on that, but it's not until you actually see the data
Exactly.
that you've like, oh my goodness, wow, look at the and how about you? Did you get stressed out while you were wearing the continuous glucose monitor? Did you notice
Yeah,
anything?
I think not really stressed, but I think I was more aware of that, I have, sensor that, read my glucose, and I didn't want it, jump up to like 150, 160 after I have a little bit of, candy or something. So I think I was being a little bit not being honest with that, system. But but what I noticed that is that your blood sugar can jump up not just because of from your food that you're eating. It can come from your stress level, like emotional, psychological stress. And that was a big finding for me because I didn't really think about, okay, so when people talk about stress management and stress, like it's very subjective, it's a very personal. I mean, how do you know? And I love data. I love science backed up, evidence. But when actually I saw that, I was looking at my data, and this time I was eating perfectly the sequence, and all that fiber, rich food, and protein, and no sweets, no candies. Why my blood sugar goes up? Because I was stressed at work.
Exactly.
And yeah, so every time when I tell my clients, It's not about, yes, it's about your food, majority of them, but also don't forget about your stress management. Like, your emotional stress can really impact your adrenal gland, which controls your stress management, and it can kind of stimulate and your glucose can go up. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's a really important point because, like what you were saying, people keep looking at their blood sugar, and whenever they see some variance, they're like, "What did I eat? What did I
yeah.
eat?" Maybe it's that food, and there's so many factors. And I did. I mean, that's why I asked the question. I saw it go whoop, high, and I thought there's nothing going. And then, yeah, situationally, there was to me nothing bounces my blood sugar high as much
Mhm.
as stress. There's no food I can eat,
Yeah.
and so something stressful happen, it bounce. And something else I was wondering if you notice when I don't sleep well,
Mhm.
the next day it's bad. I mean, I could eat something really healthy and then I have to, yeah, it's still going to respond more than if I had a good night's sleep. And it takes a bit
Right.
of maybe the day to reset
Yeah.
and you have to be more mindful. So,
Yeah.
okay. So, what are your favorite things to do? You had mentioned already the food sequence and was wondering if you could elaborate on that and other things that you'd like to do to balance your blood sugar.
So I'm one of the person that I used to do this for I think over decades. Like um, as soon as I wake up, the first thing I did was making coffee because I love the aroma of coffee and the ritual of, making coffee and all that. Just makes my day start. That's how I did it for like over 10, 15 years. And I had a really bad brain fog. So I really rely on caffeine to wake myself up. I mean, it just is, side notes, even my mother-in-law, she got me a mug. It says, um, no talking before coffee or something. So she just made fun of me, but that was so well known true, inside our family joke. So my brain fog was that bad. So definitely something going on inside my gut health and, my metabolic health was not, optimal back then. So what I did, just pouring the empty caffeine on my empty stomach, which is you're just pouring gasoline on fire. It increases your adrenal, stimulate your adrenal glands, and jack up your glucose level. It could, and then your body just like so like alert more. It just like, oh, there's a bear chasing you, so you gotta run, get going. So I leave that mode for 10 to 15 years, and I think that was one of the major trigger to set my autoimmune issues, I think. So what I recommend to my clients is if you love coffee in the morning and you have to drink coffee, that's fine. Make sure it's a mold-free coffee, but also drink it with food or after you have some solid food in your stomach and drink it after like 30 minutes after. So that's the ideal, but it's a hard sometimes, but just to know the difference and what you're doing to your body can make a huge difference, can make, changes in long term, I think.
So,
How about you? What's
yeah.
your strategies?
Oh, I also just want to say, gosh, we should have a talk about coffee substitutes because I know you have stories, I have stories. So there. So we'll put a pin in that. So to manage my blood sugar, I do it through diet. And so just because of my background, I have like food addiction behaviors, eating disorders, and all the rest of it. So I'm pretty careful about my food intake and just like eating a lot of fat and protein and fiber, all of those things before eating any kind of carbs, because that kind of just slows it down. When I was wearing my continuous glucose monitor, because part of the fun is testing, I had a giant salad. I mean, I like mixing bowl salads. Like that's how much I love my vegetables and then some healthy form of fat and protein. There's this from when I was a kid, you know how like it's about nostalgia sometimes with food. It was a big muffin and it was a gluten-free muffin, but it's the size of your face. And so I bought it. I just wanted to see it because, data. And I ate it. And it's sweet. It's got sugar. But it was doing this. like little
Mm.
bloops because the fat and the protein and the giant salad put the brakes on the spike. So I'm not saying that that's a cheat. I mean, the way you do it, but if like it just goes to show that how you eat your food, the sequence that you eat it really impacts your blood sugar. So you can almost have your cake and eat it too. I mean, I wouldn't make it an everyday thing, but it's
Mm.
just really powerful to do that. But I also this is I like to do like if I do eat foods that I feel like is gonna bump up my blood sugar, I like to go on walks and I like to do
Mhm.
squats and things like that
Yeah.
because with the blood glucose, I saw it bring it right down. Or apple cider vinegar, it brought it down like 20 points. And
Oh,
so
really?
yeah, yeah. And so that because it slows the emptying of the contents of your gut. So it that was really helpful as well. So there are a lot of things you could do to manage it, but mostly, like what you said, do not stress out your adrenals because that
Mhm.
is the biggest. I mean, people talk about food and I'd like to myth bust that. Yes, of course. But then if you're stressed out constantly, you're going to spike
Yeah.
that cortisol. Cortisol is going to respond with the insulin to put the blood into your system or the sugar so
Yeah.
that you can get away. And that's the thing that always jacked up my blood sugar more than anything else.
Hmm.
And it's fascinating.
I know.
So yeah, so yeah, what is your main takeaway actually from this?
From this, what? I'm sorry, you got.
Yeah, the continuous glucose monitor. What's your like if you were to recommend it to somebody or share a big takeaway, what would that be?
Don't cheat. So when you have the sensor on your body, just to do like what you do normally. So we collected, accurate data for you,
That's
so we
true.
can, use the data. So yeah, don't just do what you do. Don't try to be so nice to your doctor or your practitioner. Just be honest. But second of all, just aware that there are so many ways can increase your uh, blood sugar levels. But just know that your stress and your food can be the main culprit. And the other thing that I just want to add as a strategies that I did to manage my blood sugar levels is to pair up with the protein or fat. If I want some, carb or carb-rich, snack, I always add some fat or protein because the carb itself, it really like your body just absorbs like a sponge, and then it just jack up your blood sugar regulation levels right away. So you want to pair certain, uh, fat or proteins, such as one of my favorite snack is, just slices apple with nut butter. That's the perfect combination. Depending on if you have an allergy or, food sensitive to nut, you want to be careful. But that's one of my favorite snack, and I can give you example. And then the other thing is pair up with the protein. And oh, um, eat your meals 3 times a day, or but really good quality and quantity of a meal. Then you will have less craving for snack throughout the day. Because every time when you eat, your sugar levels can go up. You know, if you're eating carb rich food, it will go higher, but even protein, a little bit of protein, your body reacts to it and then it goes up. So minimizing, time frequency of eating snack throughout the day can be the best way to regulate your sugar levels. But if you have a diabetes or other condition, you want to be careful and you want to work with your practitioner because you don't want your blood sugar levels to go too low or too high. So yeah, that's my um, takeaway from using continuous glucose monitor. And always work on your lifestyle modification. Basically, managing your stress and know where your stress is coming from. I think that's the really big start. Because most people, when I ask my clients, like, are you stressed? And no, I'm happy. I don't have a stress. I don't know why I have this chronic issues. Well, are you sure you don't know? Are you sure that you don't have a stress? And then when we dig in a little bit more and more, they're thinking, oh, maybe that could be my stressor. Yeah. So just, kind of study yourself and kind of watch yourself where your stress is coming from, whether it's from food or, emotional, psychological stress. And I think it will help you because once you know your enemy, you can conquer them, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. We've done many lives at this point, and it goes back to self-awareness and listening to what your body is telling you, or maybe screaming at you, because it
Yeah,
is communicating at all times. So anyway,
exactly.
yeah, so that's great. So I guess a recap: blood sugar is the one of the big hormones to focus on. A lot of times, we focus on one aspect, but I guess it's sort of like this is a big player. So if you have any kind of health condition, this is something definitely look into. Some people will venture to say that you can't have a chronic health condition without a blood sugar issue underlying. And then we shared, why it's important, how it shows up, and then some of our favorite ways.
Yeah.
So I guess you want to end it with a question. Do you have a question for everybody? If
No, not really. How about you? Do you have any questions? I think we had a really fun and kind of addressed what we want to talk about today.
I guess share below if you learned anything new that you're going to try based on what we offered, or if you have tried, or what do you try to help manage your blood sugar if it's something that you do. And also post if you have any questions about the continuous glucose monitor, because apparently both of us have a lot to say about it.
Yes. Unless you want to, prick your finger like 10 times per day trying to figure
I know,
out your average, right?
I know. Absolutely.
Yeah.
We should talk about the difference between finger pricking and the continuous glucose monitor too. That would be a cool
Yeah.
thing.
All right. Sounds good. It was really fun. Like I said, always like it's my pleasure to talk with you, and it really charged my energy every week.
Yeah,
So I really appreciate
me
you,
too.
coming in and talk with me and share your tips and strategies. So thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. You too. And I guess we'll do each other in a couple of weeks.
Okay. All right. See you in a couple
All
of
right.
weeks. All right. Take care. Bye.